I honestly thought the worst thing an HOA could do to me was slap a $250 fine on my mailbox for being the wrong shade of beige. I was wrong. Neighborhood alerts the exact second I saw the live stream popping up from inside my own federally permitted greenhouse lab. The one I'd spent 12 brutal months battling the Pinecrest Estates HOA to keep. Then the helicopters thumped overhead. Then the black SUVs with federal plates rolled in like they owned the street. It took exactly one sappy opening song for what Barbara Kensington called a perfect community harmony wedding to become a full-blown national security meltdown. My name is Dr. 37. On paper, I looked like every HOA board's dream resident. Doctorate in environmental science, credit score hovering at 798, 5 a.m. Black coffee and data logs routine. I lived in the kind of neighborhood that looked like a stock photo advertisement. White picket fences, identical lawns mowed to military precision, and covenants thicker than the Bible. But behind the curated perfection sat Barbara Kensington, our HOA president for 8 straight years. The woman who could smile, say, "Bless your heart, dear," and fine you into oblivion all in the same breath. My property was the only one that didn't quite fit the mold. I'd inherited the house from my great-aunt and turned the old Victorian greenhouse into a biosafety level 2 containment facility for my microplastics enzymatic breakdown research. Federal grant, $1.5 million, the whole 9 yards. From the street, it still looked like a fairy tale glass cathedral wrapped in Virginia creeper vines that turned violent crimson every autumn. Inside, negative pressure air, industrial HEPA filters, reinforced polycarbonate, steel beams hidden behind the pretty iron ribs. The air smelled of absolutely nothing, exactly how it was supposed to. One stray contaminant and 3 years of taxpayer-funded work would vanish. The HOA had fought me every step of the way. Barbara led the charge at every board meeting. We simply cannot have a commercial laboratory masquerading as a backyard hobby in our residential paradise. She'd coo while her husband nodded like a bobblehead. I'd filled out 60-page forms, survived background checks that dug up my teenage parking tickets, and let 3 federal agencies measure my emergency eye wash station with laser precision. I finally got the variance and the operating license 3 weeks ago. The ugly yellow federal warning placards were bolted at eye level. Federally regulated research facility. Authorized personnel only. I loved those signs. Barbara hated them, called them wild and unkempt, and hit me with 3 separate fines in 1 month for non-compliant landscaping. On the neighborhood app, she'd post passive-aggressive notes. Neighbors, let's keep Pinecrest Estates looking harmonious. Some of us are working very hard to maintain standards. Everyone knew who some of us meant. I stayed silent. I smiled politely at the mandatory HOA potlucks and let her think she was winning. Because I was watching. Every email, every little power play. Dr. doesn't explode. She observes. She waits. That Friday evening, I was alone in the house after my assistant Maya had clocked out. I just finished the final exit protocol, stripped off the protective gear, washed my hands for the mandated 30 seconds, locked the heavy steel door behind the rustic wood veneer. The motion sensors were armed, the cameras rolling straight to a secure federal server. I stepped into the cool Virginia air and allowed myself one tired smile. Then my doorbell rang. Barbara Kensington stood on my porch in a pastel pink pantsuit that probably cost more than my monthly mortgage, holding a cream-colored envelope like it was a Nobel Prize. Her husband Chuck and their influencer daughter Ashley lingered behind her. All perfect teeth and "we're just here as friends" smiles. Sophia, darling, Barbara sang, "We have the most wonderful surprise for you. Consider it an early thank you for being such a cooperative neighbor." I already knew I was about to lose. Inside the envelope was a brochure for the Blue Ridge Wellness Lodge, 3 days, deep tissue massages, total digital detox, all courtesy of the Pinecrest Estates HOA Community Fund. Barbara beamed like she'd just cured cancer. "You've been under so much stress with that little science project of yours. The board voted unanimously to give you this gift, so you can come back refreshed for the big weekend. I stared at the brochure. Back. My shoulders actually ached from the weight of the last 4 nights of calibration tests. Maya could handle the weekend low-power monitoring. The system would text me for anything over a 2-degree variance. I said yes. Big mistake. According to the timeline the feds later pieced together, Barbara's silver Lexus pulled into my driveway exactly 58 minutes after my taillights disappeared down the road. Chuck had found a guy on a cash-only forum. Eddie, no questions asked, $300 flat. They didn't pick the lock on the reinforced steel housing while Ashley FaceTimed in from her silk robe, holding a neighbor's cat and sobbing about Mr. Whiskers having a seizure if they didn't get inside to save him. Oscar-worthy performance. Eddie bought it. The deadbolt gave way in 10 minutes. They were now standing inside a federally regulated facility without a single authorization. Barbara wrinkled her nose. Here. We need to air this out. She pointed a manicured finger at the bright yellow biohazard placards. And these hideous sage color scheme. Chuck, be a dear and remove them. Chuck produced a screwdriver like he'd been waiting his whole life for this moment. One by one, the federal warning signs came down and went into a cardboard box like they were last season's Christmas decorations. Next, the cameras. To the security hub. We can't have these staring at our guests. It's invasive. She yanked the power cord. The localized server went dark. 60 miles away at the lodge, I was checking into my room. I pulled out my phone for one last lab status check before the mandatory detox lockbox. The screen showed connection lost. The sky outside was clear blue. I told myself it was just the mountain signal. Maya would call if anything was actually wrong. I handed the phone over, but on my entire career. Back at my house, the invasion kicked into high gear. Ashley arrived like a conquering queen, tape measure in hand. Venue secured. Trucks at 6 a.m. She sent it to her wedding planner Chloe and her 600,000 followers. Saturday morning, the Lux Events fleet rolled up. Chloe stood in the middle of my atrium and gushed. It's completely European, industrial chic. Barbara preened as if she'd welded the beams herself. We just had to clear out some clutter to let the space breathe. The clutter included my safety signage, emergency eye wash stations, and sterile perimeter markers. They built the stage directly under the central glass dome, the exact intake zone for the negative pressure system. Heavy velvet curtains choked the vents. Theatrical lights clamped onto structural supports never designed for vibration. The stainless steel sample prep counter became a cocktail bar. Lemons were sliced where I'd isolated bacterial strains the day before, and the research ivy, my bio-indicator plants, got fairy lights and crystal teardrops woven through the stems until the delicate branches sagged. Ashley set up a command center in my office, plugged her streaming server straight into the internal network of a federal facility, and went live to her followers with the caption, "Secret Luxury Venue Reveal." I was face down on a massage table with cucumber slices on my eyes, breathing lavender, completely unaware that my life's work was being turned into a content house. Sunday morning, the transformation was complete. 150 guests poured in, influencers with ring lights glued to their phones, minor celebrities, venture capitalists in suits that cost more than my car. They sipped champagne in the decontamination airlock like it was a normal foyer. Barbara stood at the door in a mother-of-the-bride gown, playing benevolent hostess. "We like to keep things in the family," she told everyone who asked. Inside, body heat and carbon dioxide climbed. The blocked vents screamed silently. The temperature spiked. Proprietary enzymes designed to eat plastic woke up angry. They released a gaseous byproduct that was never meant to share air with humans. The first sign was the scratching. The mother of the groom fanned herself. "Is it hot in here?" By the time Ashley floated down the aisle in her $12,000 mermaid gown, the room had hit 85 degrees. The judge's voice thickened. In the shimmering heat, a baby started wailing. My contacts are burning. On the live stream, the comments flipped from heart emojis to, "Why is everyone sweating?" to, "Is the camera melting?" The irritant settled on skin, crawled into lungs. It felt like 1,000 invisible wool sweaters. People swayed, grabbed Ashley's arm. "Babe, the floor is moving." Barbara hissed from the front row, "Smile for the cameras. Everyone, it's just the romantic fog machine." But the fog wasn't romantic. At the exact moment the judge said, "You may kiss the bride," the backup internal camera, the one with its own battery, caught Barbara whispering to Chloe, "Keep the stream going no matter what. Once it hits 1 million views, she can't shut us down without looking like the villain." I was still at the lodge when my secondary telemetry pinged through the cellular backup. Temperature 87 degrees. Humidity 68%. Airflow obstruction. The receptionist tried to stop me, but I was already running for my car, phone in hand, dialing every federal emergency number I knew. I screeched into my driveway behind a wall of flashing lights. 6 police cruisers, 2 ambulances, a fire truck. Neighbors filming behind yellow tape. A news helicopter chopped the air. A deputy blocked me. A leak or hostage situation. We don't know yet.
I'm very sorry, Dr. Reyes, but
"I'm the owner," I shouted. "DR,
you must listen to me.
that's my lab. You'll release a federally regulated agent." They detained me anyway. They're watching my beautiful greenhouse fill with milky fog and dark shapes pressed against the glass. My phone buzzed. A viral tweet tagging me, "DR. Sophia Reyes, radical environmentalist, turned her lab into a gas chamber for her own neighborhood." This was no accident. Barbara had already started the narrative war on the HOA app and every social platform she could reach. The black SUVs finally arrived. Special Agent Miller stepped out, granite face, clipboard in hand. They cleared the building, triaged 32 people with respiratory distress, decontaminated the rest. I handed over my phone. Check the emails I sent the entire HOA board last Friday. Miller's team found them. Time-stamped warnings citing federal statutes, explicitly forbidding any entry. No replies. They also found the angle grinder shavings, the box of removed federal signs with Chuck screwdriver still in his pocket, and the internal camera footage of Barbara directing the crew. Ignore her warnings. She's just being dramatic. This will make Ashley's channel explode. The smoking gun was Ashley's contract with a streaming platform, $50,000 upfront plus ad revenue for broadcasting live from a secret government laboratory. She had guaranteed exclusive and unfettered access. She had sold commercial rights to a federal facility she never owned. The federal courthouse smelled of floor wax and old paper. I sat in the 3rd row wearing the navy suit I'd bought for this exact day. Barbara, Chuck, and Ashley sat on the other side looking like they'd aged 10 years in 1 month. The prosecutor didn't yell. The judge's face tightened when he heard Barbara say, "Get those ugly yellow signs out of here. They'll ruin the photos." When the judge read Ashley's email threatening to ruin the event planners company if they backed out, the courtroom went dead silent. "Mrs." the judge said, "You treated a federal research facility like your personal content house. You treated your neighbors like props and your covenants like suggestions. The court finds you liable on every count: trespassing on federal property, destruction of government assets, reckless endangerment, wire fraud. Restitution, $4.2 million. Liquidation of assets, from Ashley's influencer empire until the debt was paid." Barbara was voted out of the HOA presidency the same afternoon, unanimous, of course. I walked out into the sunlight. Hallway.
Sophia, wait.
"Sophia, you have to help us.
Just give me a moment,
Family,
please.
I mean
We
neighbors."
can still resolve this before the hearing.
I looked at the woman who had fined me for vines, slandered me for months, and nearly destroyed my life for a wedding hashtag. You still don't understand,
Barbara,
I said quietly.
to address the
You didn't just
settlement
destroy a
terms
greenhouse.
or returns.
You destroyed
This
trust.
is the only way
Back.
forward.
I turned and walked away, in front of a new steel door at the Redfield State Research Institute in California. The air was drier, sharper. I peeled the backing off a simple yellow sticker and pressed it onto the door at eye level. Authorized personnel only. I swiped my badge. Inside, the incubators hummed, waiting for new samples. No HOA covenants. No live streams.
Just mine.
I took a deep breath of filtered, purified air and smiled for the first time in months. Some doors really are locked for a reason, and this one finally stayed locked.